Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from Wilderspool. An absolutely horrendous journey for the Leeds club this evening, leaving Headingley at 4:30 and stuck in some traffic problems on the M62, arriving here at approximately 10 to 7. So the game has been delayed while 7:45 because the fans also can't get here. And an important game for Leeds. It's the first league game since the defeat by Sheffield Eagles, and they'll be looking to try and close that gap on Wigan this evening. It's not been the best of seasons for Leeds in the league. The tremendous victory over Wigan looked to have given them heart, but the defeats at London Broncos and Castleford early on in the season really scuppered any chance of the championship. Leeds did pull it back with the win against Wigan, and then went and lost it in the game against Sheffield. Obviously, Leeds played last week in the Regal Trophy against Bradford Bulls, and despite the victory, the coaching staff less than happy with the performance. So it's a big opportunity for Leeds tonight, but they've a weakened side out, and I'll go through the teams for you now. For Leeds, Paul Cook is at full-back. Marvin Golden comes in on the wing. Kevin Iro, Craig Innes, Francis Cummins make up the three quarters. Graham Holroyd gets a chance to establish himself in his favourite number 6 position in the absence of Tony Kemp and Gary Schofield, with James Lowes dropping down the scrum half from the pack. Neil Harmon, Mick Shaw and Harvey Howard are the front row. Gary Mercer, George Mann and Mike Forshaw, the back three. And the substitutes tonight: Alan Tate, Barry McDermott, Anthony Gibbons, one of the Gibbons twins, and Jamie Field. And Warrington will there line up with Lee Penny. Manoa Thompson is the new signing from Australia. Chris Rudd, Gareth Davis, Andy Courier. The half-backs are Yestin Harrison, Mike Ford. Mark Jones, John Huff and Mark Hilton are the front row, with Mike Wainwright, Paul Sculthorpe and Kelly Shalford making up a very, very skillful back three. And Greg Mackey, Andy Bennett, John Stursfield and Dave King. So this could possibly be Greg Mackey's last appearance for Warrington, and it's a sad day when a player like Greg Mackey leaves the British scene. He's been one of the mainstays of Warrington and Hull before them over the last few years. So it's going to be Leeds to kick off. That means Warrington will have first run of the football. In a splendid position up here on the gantry at Warrington. I think only Leeds compares with the Warrington gantry. So Graham Holroyd about to get the game started. 7:45 kick-off owing to the traffic. And Kelly Shelford immediately looking to bring Paul Sculthorpe on the run, and Forshaw's up quickly. That's good defence from Leeds. Of course, Leeds came here last year had a tremendous victory over the Wire in what Ellery Hanley described as the best performance of the season. Just solid work in defence. Shelford again looking to move the ball out wide, but he's well wrapped up there. It's good defence from Neil Harmon and Gary Mercer. Mark Hilton now. Again, Leeds look to knock him down. And David Campbell taking the players back a good 10 metres there. And now it's time for Mark Jones. A crowd favourite, Mark Jones. I think the Warrington crowd certainly waiting for him to do something. Mike Ford gets the kick in, and that sends the Leeds teenage pair of Paul Cook and Francis Cummins scurrying back. Cook takes the tackle about 12 metres from his own line. So Leeds will now look to bring the ball away. Francis Cummins it is who runs into Mark Jones. No, it's Harvey Howard. Step Mark Jones there. George Mann. Oh, that's a good half break from Mann. Leeds bringing player up towards halfway wire. All offside there. Mick Shaw goes himself from matching half. Sculthorpe brings him down in a tackle. And Sculthorpe linked with Leeds today in the press. And never ceases to amaze me where these stories come from. And Leeds on the attack. Great up and under there from Holroyd. Foiled, fumbled. And Leeds get 6 more tackles over on the far side by Andy Courier. And Leeds give away the penalty. Not playing the ball correctly, Kevin Iro, so that's a let off for the Wire. Iro just walks away shaking his head. And instead of Leeds having 6 more tackles, they now find themselves defending. It's Mark Jones. Driven back there. That's good defence from Leeds. And Leeds back there 15-20 metres from the play of the ball. I hope that David Campbell is consistent with his 10 metres. Nothing wrong with a big 10 metres as long as it's the same for both sides. So Warrington looking again now to move this ball with Paul Sculthorpe. Mike Ford. Balls for Harris. Great defence from Craig Innes there. And Gareth Davis, the former Welsh student captain. That ball's going across Kelly Shelford. Wainwright wrapped up and pulled down. Good defence from Leeds. Again, the referee keeps him back a good 12 metres. And John Huff, the hooker, who's come to prominence this season, puts the kick in. First scrum of the game. Heading ball to Leeds on the 20 metres. James Lawson gets the first chance to feed the scrum. Brings Marvin Golden in from the wing. Golden in the side. He was selected a few weeks ago for the side against Wigan and was injured in training, had to drop out. Iro switching to position of play there, gets it back to Mercer, running out wide in the centres. Oh, that's a good ball away to Golden. Golden steps away from Mark Jones, but he's brought down. He's to his feet, quickly plays the football, and Gary Mercer will take the ball on. A couple of Leeds players this tonight returning against their old club. Neil Harmon and Gary Mercer, former Wires, of course. That's out to George Mann. Innes very strong on the outside. Looks to go himself. Lost the football. Picked up by Manoa Thompson. There was a suspicion there. That's good defence from Leeds. Referee says no advantage, so it'll be the first knock on and it'll be head and ball to Warrington. And Manoa Thompson immediately pushed in his touch there. And Ford waits for the ball to come out of the scrum. Manoa Thompson running at Graham Allroyd, and the youngster brings him down. Good defence there. Shelford, Warrington looking to open play up. That's good play. 6 more tackles, says the referee. Ball coming off Kevin Iro, and Warrington turning the screw, putting the pressure on now. Yestin Harris gets the ball away to Mike Ford. Ford nowhere to go. Good defence from Leeds, closing down the option there. Shelford again. It seems that everything's going to come from Kelly Shelford this evening, and Leeds be looking to keep him closed down. Yestin Harris just gets up gingerly, plays the ball. Mike Ford now dropping it back inside for Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe goes without the football, and Leeds have it in the shape, I think, of Neil Harmon. Under the melee, it is Harmon indeed, and Gary Mercer now looks to carry that one on. Good defence there from Gareth Davis. Leeds looking to drop off there from Allroyd. That's put Forshaw away to Iro. Iro steps inside. Can he get Marvin Golden away? Can. Golden stepping inside. Can't go. Good defence there. That's great defence from Andy Curry. Read the situation very well. Golden up to his feet now. The ball back through the arms of the half-backs out to Allroyd. It's Allroyd's chance now to put a good long pass out there. He does to George Mann. Mann wrapped up. Hooks in it, acting half. Will he run himself? Gives Harry Howard a chance to drive forward. Leeds within 5 metres. Harry Howard still going. That's great running from Howard. Just a couple of metres short now. Innes in it, acting half. Finds Allroyd again. Allroyd puts the cross-field kick in there. Leeds. Oh, and Gary Mercer knocked on there. And that was a try for the begging there. If Mercer could have taken Allroyd's deft little kick, that would have been a try to the Liners. As it is, it's the turnover on the 6th tackle. Yestin Harris comes away with the football and only finds a tackling of James Lawes. So good end-to-end stuff in the opening encounter. Leeds proving that they can open the wire up. It's whether the Leeds defence will be able to cope with the constant probings of the likes of Sculthorpe, Wainwright and Shelford. To say nothing, of course, of Yestin Harris. Mark Jones always looks to be running very hard and very strong. Shelford again. There's a gap there in the middle of the field. If Warrington can get the ball away, Lee Penny's through it. Penny's away now. Cook's got him lined up there. Oh, and he's missed him, Paul Cook. Well, that's going to be the first try to Warrington. Paul Cook there totally missed Lee Penny, ran straight through him, and Warrington take the lead when Leeds should have really had 6 points at the other end of the field. So good run there from Lee Penny. There's a gap in the middle of the field. Leeds couldn't close it quick enough, and Lee Penny through the gap and over for the try. Successfully through the middle, Warrington 6, Leeds 0. So Graham Allroyd again has to kick the football off, and Leeds are well aware there of just what's going to happen if they don't tackle in the middle of the field this evening. Sufficient that to say that Bradford Bulls didn't bust them up the middle of the field whatsoever, but Warrington have gone straight over the centre spot there and straight down the middle of the field for a try underneath the post. Craig Mackey fields the ball, gives it to Sculthorpe. And Sculthorpe away there again, and here come Warrington again now. Some feeble defence there from Leeds. Warrington with a roll on, very difficult to stop. The Leeds really need to slow Warrington down at the play of the ball. Mackey. Harris. It's a good ball out there, Wainwright back to Harris. A well-read situation by Craig Innes, but Leeds under pressure, and really they won't want to be conceding another try at this early stage. Mark Hilton is wrapped up there by McShaw and Harvey Howard. And the ball moving out to the left through three pairs of hands. Shelford the run around. Football's out there for Penny again. And Penny almost through, in fact through Kevin Iro's tackle. Warrington on the last tackle, move that ball away with Sculthorpe. Mackey puts the crossfield kick in. Francis Cummins is underneath it, he needs to take it. And took it well there, Cummins, under considerable pressure from number 3, Chris Road. And George Mannett is who's trying to drive the football away from the Leeds line, and Leeds really need to get their act together, get some points on the board. Mercer. Shaw moves in at dummy half, finds Neil Harmon. Leeds will be looking for a big props job from Neil Harmon and Harvey Howard this evening. And Holroyd. So kick in, that finds touch. Sliced off the outside of his boot, just shaking his head, Graham Holroyd. Meant to kick it further downfield, he says. So Warrington again. Scrum out there, Manoa Thompson looks to run at Graham Allroyd again, but the youngster brings him down. Harris bringing Wainwright on the burst. Warrington switch play back towards his side, out to Kelly Shelford. Rudd cutting inside, a poor attempt at a tackle there. Penny's in again for another try, a poor attempt at a tackle from George Mann. Opened Leeds wide up there, out wide, and Warrington actually running away with this game, even in these opening stages. But 2 tries for Lee Penny, and again underneath the post to make the conversion a formality. We've been playing approximately 13 minutes. And George Mann just knocked off there out wide. The ball going out inside to Lee Penny. And really Leeds need to tighten the defence up out wide if they're going to get anything out of this game. Yes, and Harris to put Warrington 12-0 up, and really this could be a rout in these circumstances unless Leeds get their act together. Well, Leeds then need to really tighten up on the defence. It's been gaps all evening up the middle of the field and now out wide. Greg Mackey, thinks Sculthorpe made the break that set up that position, and this time the 2 props doing the job, knocking him down. But Leeds have got to be alert to the danger of players switching the ball back inside. This time George Mann does wrap up Mark Hilton, who looked to lose the ball in the tackle. Jones puts the ball down. George Mann couldn't pick up, so head and ball of Leeds at the scrum, and Leeds really need to hit back and hit back quickly. Out to James Lowes, finds Holroyd. Holroyd's long ball is for Iro. Iro, poor pass there. Picked up by Leeds. Lowes finding Harman making the hard yards down the middle of the field, bumps off Mark Jones. That's a penalty to Leeds. Justin Harris. Cook, I think, will go for goal, which will reduce the arrears if he kicks it to 12 points to 2 and ensure that Leeds get the ball back. So Cook with the new kicking tee that he's been using in the last few weeks, certainly successful against Bradford Bulls. 9 out of 9 for the youngster. Cook then. Straight through the middle. Leeds 2. Wire 12. Right on 15 minutes then. And Justin Harris then with the kick. He'll be looking to kick this deep, keep Leeds penned down in their own quarter. All right, safely underneath the kick. Brings Mercer the ball returning, but Warrington up very, very quick. That was a great kick off. It hung in the air for such a long time. Mike Forshaw. Over the 20 metres. Harry Howard onto the short ball. That's good. Leeds have a roll on. Leeds passing. Leeds have had 4 tackles up to halfway. That's good running. All right, now with the ball in his hands. It's the ball out to Forshaw. Forshaw stepping, trying to go himself. Lowes will kick from dummy half. That's a good kick. That's going to send Warrington Penn right back down to their own try line. Andy Currier picks up. Runs at Kevin Iro. And a good no-nonsense tackle from Iro. Gareth Davis just stepping inside of the beast. Lee Penny now, he's been dangerous this evening. Sculthorpe pushes Mitch Shaw out of the way. And Warrington now looking to bring this ball back with Mark Jones. Good defence from Neil Harman and Gary Mercer. And Harman injured there in that skirmish. Alan Golden pulls the ball back in from touch there. Almost a mistake from Leeds. And now they'll have to make ground without Neil Harman. Good running from Paul Cook from acting half. Steps, scores himself. Neil Harman thankfully back to his feet and coming back to an onside position. George Mann. That's got to be obstruction, referee. Warrington players all laid in the ruck area there, obstructing Mick Shaw's passage to the football. Referee lets it go. Harvey Howard knocking Greg Mackey out of the way, but Mackey hanging on there. That's good defence. Greg Mackey there just taking an absolute eternity to get off the man there. And Leeds get the penalty. And Paul Cook will have another kick at goal and Leeds pegging Warrington back. Yeah, kicking tee just being brought on again. It's certainly been successful as far as Paul Cook's concerned so far. It's current records since he started using the kicking tee is 10 out of 10. Let's not wish the put the Indian signing in with this one as far as Leeds are concerned. And this time he's pushed it wide. So Leeds will get the ball back from the dropout, but they'll be well back in their own half of the field. Yestin Harris, I think, will be entrusted with the dropout. Gary Mercer just stops the football with his body. And he's tackled just inside his own half of the field. So that's the halfway line that you can see in your picture. Marvin Golding crosses it now. And Leeds at 6s and 7s. McShaw using the short side there. Nobody really alert to that. I think the player was lined up from the long side looking for the run around there. He's Lowe's. Puts George Mann. There's a gap there for Mann if he can go. Innes puts the ball down. And Warrington are in possession. Mark Jones, good defence from Leeds. Hilton. Warrington have come back well since the loss of Jonathan Davis. Mackie. Shelford, a long ball out there, is for Gareth Davis. Leeds having a second bite of the cherry there at the play the ball, and Warrington get their second penalty of the evening. So Dave King's on for Mark Hilton. And here come Warrington again now. Dave King switching. Mackie's ball's a lovely one out to Rudd. Penny again. And George Mann alert there to Lee Penny. Mackie again, brings Dave King on the burst. The Australian, of course, signed from Huddersfield in the close season. Shelford, Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe almost through again there, just picked up by Harry Howard. It's the ball away to Mick Shaw in the tackle. So both sides showing a willingness to move the ball at all situations at Marvin Golden. Good running there from Craig Innes. Shelford hanging on by the bootlaces to keep him pinned down. Harmon now takes the ball forward. Doing a good job, props job this evening. That's out to James Lowes. Lowes can't get the ball away. Allroyd was in support there. The Leeds will move the ball to the right with Gary Mercer through the hands of Kevin Iro. Iro puts a kick in, that's gone into touch. So Warrington will go to scrum with head and ball. Mackie brings the ball out. And almost bringing Andy Curry around on the arc from the scrum. And Leeds will need to watch it here because Warrington and here man, Yestin Harris is through. Cook's chasing him as he got the legs, Yestin Harris. Francis Cummins brings him down. Great defence from Cummins. But again, Yestin Harris just showing what a good player he is. Chris Rudd. Warrington switching play. Quickly Mackie back to Yestin Harris again. Looks to drop off inside. That's gone down to ground. That'll be a knock on. Manoa Thompson couldn't hold the football. But Yestin Harris, class play there. Bursting through. Francis Cummins bringing the football away from the danger zone. Good defence from Kelly Shelford though. That's bringing Innes on the loop. Gary Mercer pushes one man off and another, but it's good defence from Wire, knocking him back. Oh, that's going to be a knock. Surely that's a knock on from David Campbell, but he allows play to go there. Leeds just been too adventurous in the tackle, getting the ball away. Manoa Thompson. Mackie. Dave King. That's the football. Marvin Golden has it for Leeds. Put your body on the line, Marvin Golden. That's what he did then. Iro shrugging men off down the blind side. And a flop there from Dave King on the big man. Neil Harmon. George Mann. Mike Forshaw just using the blind side, the short side, to try and make progress. That's 4 tackles gone. So Shaw in it, acting half, gives it to Lowe's. Lowe's will find Holroyd, and Holroyd just a run. Still going Holroyd, but he's knocked down there, and this time it'll go to Lowe's. Will put the bomb up. That's a high bomb. Everyone's on side. Iro chases it. Lee Penny takes. Under no pressure whatsoever. Really, Lee Penny. Career. Knocked to the floor. George Mann again misses Mark Jones. Manoa Thompson there. Oh, and he gets the ball away in the tackle. Well, Craig Innes did the right thing. Big hit there on Greg Mackey. So Warrington moving that ball back, looking to bring Wainwright. Wainwright can't get the ball away to Penny, who was in support and went up to the last tackle. So Leeds can expect the bomb here from Yasin Harris. In fact, Warrington running the football. Kelly Shelford. Rudd puts the kick in. And good defence from Leeds in the end there, but the kick was seen. Cook was nowhere to be seen. Cummins picks the ball up, quickly playing the football. Cook. George Mann. Leeds not playing any fancy football at the moment in their own quarter. Ball out to Holroyd. Holroyd. Balls for Mercer. Mercer finds Iro out wide, but the Warrington sliding defence working well. Ball back inside to Mercer. Great football. Knock on there from the Warrington. Ball coming backwards, and that should be a heading ball to Leeds. Well, the people in the crowd over there have completely... Crowd over there complaining, but they obviously can't see as well as what we can see. Iro stepping down the middle of the field. It's a good route there. That's out for Innes. The referee says it's a forward pass. Kevin Iro just limping back towards his position in the field. Warrington have an injury to Kelly Shelford. Yasin Harris wrapped up by Paul Cook. Just looked to ghost through from the scrum. Mackie again will bring Dave King on the burst. John Huff goes from acting half. It's the first time we've seen the Warrington hooker make a dummy half break this evening, and he's had really no need to, because Warrington quite capable of making breaks from anywhere in the field. Manoa Thompson comes in from the wing, and Warrington in a dangerous position now in the Leeds quarter. They've got plenty of men to spare outside. Yasin Harris gets the ball away there. Sculthorpe, Wainwright, Gareth Davis brought down, last tackle. So what will Leeds get now? Will they get the bomb? Sculthorpe with the football, tries the drop goal, and that's missed. well wide of the post is David Campbell, so Leeds will have a chance to drive that ball forward with Neil Harmon. Gary Mercer. And Mercer's worked hard this evening, he's run solid all evening. Mick Short. Leeds using switching play there, Mike Forshaw, that's good play from Leeds, but they're tackling at Warrington tonight, been so much that Leeds have hardly made any breaks whatsoever. Here comes Harry Howard now, and he's lost the football in the tackle. And you get the feeling it's going to be one of those nights for the Liners. Warrington again. Will take the ball at the scrum. Justin Harris looks to go himself. All right, bringing him down. Mark Jones. Good defence again from Holroyd. The Leeds defence must slide across now. Gareth Davis, good defence from Gary Mercer. Read the situation well there. Big Dave King. Lee Mackey. It's a crossfield kick in. Cummins will have to chase. Takes the football well. That went backwards, said the referee. Cut coming away. Well read by Sculthorpe. Ennis using his extra bulk almost like another forward. Craig Ennis. Lowe's now will find Neil Harmon. Leeds using the short side with Gary Mercer. Up to the last tackle, and Leeds have come only 20 metres in that set of 6. Holroyd will look to put the kick in. It's high, it's spinning. Manoa Thompson's underneath. Takes it on the full. But George mans up quickly to snub out any threat of a quick counter-attack. Warrington all yards offside as they're looking to come back. Lee Penny, Harry Howard just makes sure they're coming over the top. Andy Courier. Slips a good football there. That's good play, Huff. And again out to Sculthorpe. Mackey. Long balls out to Rudd. Rudd coming back inside. This time George Mann does indeed wrap him up. Mackey again. Shelford. Long ball out there to Gareth Davis. What's the kick in for the corner? And Golden has to come back and retrieve the situation for Leeds. A lovely bit of play there from the Welshman. Graham Holroyd looks to Leeds bringing two players off, Harry Howard and Mike Forshaw, and bring on Alan Tate. And Lee Penny, certainly the danger man as far as Warrington are concerned. Well, he scored a great try at Batley on Sunday. Mark Jones wrapped up by James Lawes, but Warrington again in a very, very difficult position for Leeds to defend against. Justin Harris. Good defence from Marvin Golden on the far side. What's the old-fashioned spot tackle there? And Leeds need to slide now as Harris brings the ball up. Dave King. And that's a try. Leeds couldn't hold out for the set of 6 after the dropout. And we have a try there to Greg Mackey, which will just about wrap up this game for the Wire, I think, even at this early stage. Warrington third try then in this first half, and Leeds nothing to offer whatsoever in the form of attack. Warrington defence has worked really hard tonight, and Leeds defence been found wanting at every opportunity. So you're seeing Harris ended up Warrington 18-2 in the lead as we approach half-time. Successful conversion. Three tries and 3 goals, and it doesn't come any easier than that. It's like Craig Innes will have gone up to loose forward, and Francis Cummins into the centre position, and really Cummins needs to read the game well. She usually does, because Warrington will look to exploit that gap with Cummins, and again George Mann goes in for the tackle on Mark Jones. The Leeds have a man down injured. It's George Mann. Harris, lovely ball out to Rudd, gives Manor a chance and a chance. Oh, lovely football from Warrington. Oh, this is so easy. A forward pass there, but that's so easy for Warrington. What superb football there from the wire. Just opening Leeds up like a tin of sardines. Leeds lucky to get away with the fact that that was a forward pass. Lowe's looks to bring Alan Tate in, first receiver from the scrum. Mercer. And the crowd shouting there, and referee says that Gary Mercer knocked the ball on despite the attentions of number 11 Mike Wainwright. The crowd gave the penalty. The touch judge, listening to the crowd, informed Mr. Campbell. And Warrington again, they've got the chance to... Well, that's going to be a try there, nobody at home. What a superb play for the youngster, Justin Harris. Superb try there, nobody at home in the full-back position. How many times have we seen that happen this season? Nobody at home at full-back at all there. Leeds on defence and up in the line, and nobody at home. Justin Harris kicked on and just chased forward and scored his own try. Well, yes, St Harris looked to convert his own try, but it was so easy there. Saw that there was no full-back at home for Leeds. Harris then lines a kick up. He's been successful with all his kicks this evening. Converts. And it's Leeds 2, Warrington 24. And I think the half-time out to Leeds will be hoping that it's the full-time out, because they've quite possibly got another half of this to come. Mackie drops the football backwards, says the referee. Dermot's in at the tackle. Justin Harris, who's only a mere boy, having plenty to say. And for men like Justin Harris, Warrington don't get involved with the big boys. It's like Warrington will get the penalty. Barry McDermott. Well, that's ridiculous. Man sent off there for what looked an innocuous looking tackle. Well, Leeds really up against it now. So Leeds certainly up against it now. And the Hooters taking an eternity to come. Dave King. Justin Harris looking to Lee Penny supporting, that's good football, and here come Wyatt again. And Leeds will be hoping that the half-time outer comes soon so they can regroup. Dave King couldn't hold the football. Cook comes in from the wing, picks up the coming, stepping, trying to weave his way through. Must be almost up to the Hooter now. A great first half display by the Wire. Mick Shaw. All right again now, finds Gary Mercer. There goes a Hooter for half-time. The Wire then level half-time lead here of 24 points to 2. It's been all Wire in this first half. Only the solitary penalty to Paul Cook on 15 minutes for Leeds. But Wire, they've had 2 tries to Lee Penny on the 8th and the 13th minutes. A try to Greg Mackey on 36 and a try to Justin Harris direct from a scrum on the 40th minute. And the extra time there just allowing Leeds to come back. Barry McDermott sent off. So Harris 4 goals, 1 try, Mackey, Penny 2 tries. Leeds 2, Warrington 24.